Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Live Weekend Nutrition Cooking Habit. I'm Brian Becraft. We welcome you here for our second episode. We are live here again doing a cooking demo, and tonight I'm excited to bring you two recipes that I know are going to, it looks like we have a lot of ingredients, but they're going to save you a lot of time in the kitchen, and they'll make you a few meals that will last you a good part of the week. And I know that we're all inside looking for something to avoid maybe taking takeout. These recipes will feed your family for a good few days with relatively simple prep time, and I'm excited to bring this to you. And as always, after we do the cooking demo, I'm going to have a Ask the Dietitian session where you can feel free to chime in with your nutrition questions, and I look forward to answering them the best I can. So, for tonight, we have two recipes. One is going to be a quick and easy breakfast egg roll that I'm going to show you how to make, and then the other is going to be how to make instant soup pots that you put in a mason jar, and you can keep those on hand for kind of an instant soup recipe. Make sure that you are following us on Facebook and Instagram at My Nutrition Habit. And if you're looking for the ingredients on tonight's video, they are on my page, on my Facebook page, My Nutrition Habit. So be sure to check that out. Okay, so to start tonight, I'm going to start by prepping the sauce for the instant soup pots. And this is something that you're going to make almost like you would make soup stock. So you're going to keep it in a jar like this. This will make multiple, probably 8 or 10 servings of soup that you'll put in individual cans, but you'll use it like you would a chicken base or a beef base. I'm going to show you how to make that. That takes about 20 minutes for it to cook. Once you have that and you have it stored, then you will be able to make the instant soups just by pouring boiling water on everything that you have in the pot. And I'll show you how that goes. And then while that's cooking, then we'll go quickly through the egg rolls, which are really fast. So to start the soup base, I'm going to get a pan going here.
Oops. I'm sorry. Happened.
And I'm going to make good use of the food processor, which saves a lot of time in the kitchen. If you don't have one, you can also dice the onions very finely, but this will make really quick and easy time out of this. I'm just going to put this into more manageable pieces really quick.
With the food processor, you can save a lot of the time there, right?
A lot of time. So instead of dicing all this really finely, and you'll find when you're making this base, if you notice, if you can see the consistency, there aren't big chunks of onion in it. So doing it this way, you'll see how finely it comes out. So it's already done for you instead of chopping. And I think that's what keeps most people out of the kitchen, right? The thought of pulling all this out and spending a lot of time chopping vegetables leads you to start to use maybe pre-made packaged things. So I'm going to use a cooking hack that my Aunt Carol, if you're watching Aunt Carol, or if you're watching this later, Aunt Carol, you were the one that taught me this kitchen hack, I don't know how many years ago, a long time ago. But it's, I've never found a better one. Instead of getting a garlic press or anything like that, all you do is take the piece of garlic, bam, peel comes right off. And it's funny to watch my Aunt Carol smash it that hard. Comes right off, goes in here. See, the next one, smash it, peel off.
So Joe Blatty, say hi. Hey, how are you, Joe?
Super fast. Almost done. We're done. So now that's a nice, almost look like
Paste.
you paste instant mashed potatoes, right? But that's going to be good because you don't want big chunks of onion in your paste. So we're heating this up. We'll, as always, put a little olive oil in there to start.
Yeah, what we doing there?
What's that?
What we doing there?
So we're just heating the olive oil,
Uh huh.
and then we're going.
Hi, Maria Antonieta.
And we're gonna sweat this out a little bit. I'm just gonna put this in here to sweat. A little mess there. Shake that out.
I just realized that I put one camera behind another one, so I was saying that.
Come go shuffling camera.
Sorry, that's
Bear
happened.
with him.
Yeah, well, is that part of the charming of light thing?
Okay. So, in the meantime, while that's heating up and sweating, we're going to start to prep some of the things for the egg roll. And the egg roll is real simple. We're going to put that on medium heat while that's doing that. And
Listen, but in that egg roll, you can put whatever you want, really.
you can put anything you want in it. So it's like this is going to be like making an omelet, but you're going to make it in, you're going to use a tortilla, and you're going to roll it up at the end, and it'll come out just like a crunchy egg roll. So there's a couple of keys to this, which I found doing this. Number one, you want a pan about the size of your hand. So if you can all see that, you don't want to get a pan too big, or you're going to end up with a big burrito. And you also don't want to get tortillas that are too big. Those should also be about the size of your hand. So these are smaller than most tortillas that you would find at the store. The reason is it starts to get unmanageable, and you'll end up with a big mess. So the third key, don't put this on too hot. You probably want it on medium. I have it on light medium, between medium and 6. You want it to get it hot enough, but you don't want the eggs to cook so fast that they start to burn. So while that's heating up, I'm going to take 6 eggs.
We need to say hi to Maria Antonieta,
Hi, Maria. Thanks for joining us.
Bruce Lamb.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
I can see more people there.
Well, let's say hi to everybody.
Thank you all for joining me. I hope you all had a great week. I am so grateful to all the responses from last week's video. We had over 1,700 people tune in.
Yeah.
Which is amazing for our first show. And I was so excited that we decided to, instead of do this bi-weekly, we're going to do it weekly. So at least for the first 13 episodes, you can tune in right here on Facebook and Instagram, Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Put your questions, when you put your questions online, Coco will read them out, my producer will read them out to me. Make sure you say your name and where you're from, so I know who I'm talking to, and you can feel free to kind of jump in anytime with questions while I'm doing this. So, I mixed up the eggs. Everything needs pepper.
You can make this recipe just with pure protein, right?
Sure. I mean, you could just put plain chicken in there. You don't have to put vegetables, but you know, I would be a bad dietitian if I said don't put any vegetables in there. So
That smells so good.
Not that I haven't been a bad dietitian before, but I'm not on the show. Okay, so I have the eggs mixed up. And it's getting pretty warm. The paste, by the way, is starting to sweat a little bit. So I'm kind of double tasking here. Sort of keep that so that you're going to wait till that gets golden brown. It'll take about another 5 minutes or so for that to happen.
I don't know you, but that smelled amazing. I mean, that smelled so good.
Okay. Put a little oil in the pan. And yeah, so for this egg roll, I'm just using some olives and a little bit and mushrooms, and I'm going to use some chicken that I pulled off a rotisserie chicken to save time, and some fresh dill. I'll cut this up quickly, actually. Some would have used dried herbs, but how long did it take me to cut up this dill? Even with a piece of garlic in there. Not long. It's in the egg. Okay. So I'm going to make these in batches. So I have the egg mixture already, and then I also have some sun-dried tomato paste. You can buy ready-made sun-dried tomato paste, but if you can't find it, I couldn't find it in the store around here for some reason, you can make your own, which I did. So you just get sun-dried tomatoes in the jar, and you can either mince them really finely, or as I did, just put it in the food. It should be kind of like that.
Nice color.
So this is going to serve as the glue. So I'm going to take the egg mixture. I'm going to take the egg mixture, and I'm going to take about 1, 2, 3, hopefully 4 tablespoons of that. You put it like that, maybe 5. Till it covers the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to put the sun-dried tomato paste on the tortilla, which will kind of serve as the glue for this. And then I'm going to put the tortilla right on top of here and just touch it so that it sticks. For about 30 seconds. Let that kind of set.
It's cool.
And then you take a plate, we're going to flip it over.
Beautiful.
And now we'll cook the other side. I'm going to put a few olives on here in the center. And a little bit of chicken. Not too much, so it's a little too fat. And a few mushrooms in here. And then put it back on the plate. And then Watch as it just rolls up. Let that set for a minute or two. Let's go check on our sweating here. This looks about done. So now, the onions and garlic in here. We're going to add a little balsamic vinegar, about 2 tablespoons, a little bit of low sodium soy sauce. You can also use coconut aminos, which are, it's kind of a soy sauce alternative, but it has a lot less sodium. Add a little garlic powder and parsley to that. And now we're going to add about 3 to 4 ounces of chili sauce, and this is not really hot chili sauce, so it won't overwhelm you. Let's stir that in. Turn that down a little bit. And a little bit of fish sauce, quite a bit, probably 3 or 4 ounces of fish sauce in there.
And we can leave that sweat more?
We're going to let this cook down.
Like reduce, right?
We're going to let this reduce, right. What does reduce mean? It means we're going to let the liquid boil out.
That smells good.
Simmer out until it becomes a thick paste. And so, Coco, if this is spicy, what do we need to add to it to balance that?
Sugar.
Sugar, yeah. Not too much. Not too much. Dietitians, don't freak out. We're going to add a little bit of sugar. A little bit of brown sugar, light brown sugar.
Yeah.
And this will help.
And give you texture too.
It gives you texture, and it will offset the spiciness. And overall, again, this is a base that you're going to keep for multiple soups, so this is not really a lot of.
And you can use this paste for cook, really? I mean, just
You can
normally
use it
for
for
soup,
anything.
right?
Sure.
It's like a base.
It's like a base for anything, like you would use a beef base or a chicken base. But this is a vegan base.
That smells so good.
Yeah, it does. hot and sweet.
Hot and sweet.
Okay, so we're gonna let that have some fun. And as we're getting back to the egg roll, that took no time. And we have just a nice breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You could really use this for. Put it with some fruit. And there you have a nice meal. Full of protein, fruits and vegetables, antioxidants, about, I would say, 400 calories. So that's very workable in anybody's diet, and it takes very little time to make. And again, you can put anything you want in it. You can put meat in it, you can make it vegetarian or vegan, and this is a nutritionally complete meal in just seconds. So, meanwhile, while this is cooking down, I will take some of your questions before we get to the next segment on how to build the soup bowls. What questions do you have for me?
Let me open that. Sorry, but remember that I have with 2 cameras. I only have one set of hands. So let me see who's online. Debbie Willis Watson.
Hi, Debbie. It's
Hi.
my Aunt Debbie.
Hi.
How are you?
Just say hi.
Thank you for joining us.
That's cool. No, I don't have questions. Not
No
today.
questions?
No.
Okay. We're going to start building the bowls then. So I just have some regular mason jars. So the soup bowls are going to be like making an instant soup. And you'll keep the dry ingredients in here. You can either keep them in the refrigerator for about 4 days, or you could actually freeze them and they'll keep for a month. And when you're ready, then you'll just take it out and then you'll pour hot boiling water on it and you'll let it steep for about 5 minutes and you have a full meal. So how do you build?
I have a question about that.
Yes.
If we made the paste, how we can keep the paste? We frozen or we can keep it just in the refrigerator?
Both. Just
Both.
like the bowl. So
It depends of the use, the frequency we can get, right?
right. Well, if you were to put this base in a Ziploc bag and kind of get all the air out of it, this will keep in the freezer for a year. And then when you pull it out, you can just almost break it apart. It will have the consistency, even frozen, to just break into pieces for what you need.
Oh, that's cool. That's practical, so you don't waste
Yeah.
the rest.
Exactly. So, depending on how often you want to eat soup like.
Another question: we can marinate. We can marinate meat with that.
Of course, yeah, that makes a great marinade because it has all the aspects that make what makes a marinade work. What tenderizes meat is acid. So all marinades are a combination of an acid, an oil, and flavoring. So this has vinegar in it for the acid. It has olive oil in it, and the flavorings, of course, are the chili sauce, the fish sauce, and really anything else you want to put in it. And those are really that makes any kind of marinade that you want. You can make a marinade out of olive oil and lemon juice. You can make something out of balsamic vinegar and any kind of oil. But I'm going to make these two with a little bit of paste in here. So about that much. Right? And then I'm going to take these rice noodles that you can get in usually the Asian section of your supermarket. And these are really thin rice noodles. And they're nice because when the boiling water hits them, they won't take long to cook at all. You don't need to boil them. The boiling water will soften them rather quickly.
So it's like you make your upgrade Maruchan soaps.
Yes.
But obviously. Erica McLean Semensky say hi, Brian.
Hi, Erica. Hope you're doing well out in Colorado.
That's good.
Your pictures from Vail were stunning. I'm jealous. I'm gonna put a little some peas in there. This is frozen spinach. This will save you time. If it's going back in the freezer anyway, that's a no-brainer. And if it's in the refrigerator, it will work just fine. I'm gonna put, this is beef jerky. This is an organic beef jerky that I found that has relatively low sodium, which I like a lot. So I'm gonna put beef jerky in this one. And then I'm going to take some of my chicken that I made for the egg rolls and put the chicken in there. And we'll take some mushrooms. I like mushrooms, so I'm going to add them to both. You can really put anything in here that you want.
I think it's very practical because you can have dinners ready and you don't start to run into
Exactly. So you're making all this at once anyway. If you had a family of 4 to feed, you could have 12 of these, 16 of these mason jars all filled up, and you have meals for days. And when you're ready to eat, you're just going to pull this out and pour hot water on it. And you can dump it into a big bowl, and everything's ready. What else are they going to put? Oh, the juice. I'm going to squirt a little lime in here.
Vicky Watson can say, do you have to use an instant pot or can you use a crock pot?
For what, Mom? To do this recipe, you can use the Instant Pot to do anything that you want. You could saute this in the Instant Pot, just like you were on the stovetop. Absolutely. You could, if you wanted to make more of a stew, yeah, you could put it on the slow cooker in the Instant Pot as well.
Okay. Erica McLean-Semensky asks, can you use different types of oils? Do you have a preference?
Yes. Yes, you can use any kind of oil you want. If you wanted to have more of an Asian flavor, you could use sesame oil in here. Absolutely. My preferences lean towards Mediterranean diet, so I would use more avocado and olive oil because they are high in monounsaturated fats, which are heart healthy. But they're, I stay away from like general vegetable oil and canola oil and things like that. But certainly sesame oil and olive oil and avocado oil are my favorites. Yep.
Katy Stimmels is watching. Say hi.
Hi, Katie. Good to hear from you. Thank you for your support. I love that you're here. Remember again to give us a like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at My Nutrition Habit on here. Facebook, Instagram. Isn't this great? Sawgrass Mills is wonderful. They can do anything.
Robbie Nelson, say hi.
Hi, Robbie. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much. Okay, so while that's going, I'm going to click the kettle, and then we're going to check in on.
Oh, wow. That changed the color. That's amazing.
Look at this.
Yeah. This is a beautiful color.
Yeah, it's developing into a nice thick paste. So it's getting thick if I can sort of part the sea here, and it doesn't flow back. That's when it's about right. Okay. So this is about ready. And we will grab another jar out of the dishwasher.
It's okay.
I'm going to take this. Now with the egg rolls, you can just keep going, right? So you have that egg mixture. You can really just keep making egg rolls, and those will freeze as well. So you can make those up and put them in a Ziploc bag and squeeze all the air out of it, and that will keep for a while too. And then you can just reheat those for an instant breakfast. So now, really, with very little effort, I've made a ton of base. This will, you saw how little I used for these. This will make a ton of soup in these that can be frozen or refrigerated to your liking. You can make, with that egg mixture, a good 5 or 6 of those egg rolls that you can keep. And then, when you're ready to eat all those things, pour the boiling hot water. Let that steep for about 5 minutes. Or, you can just, if you're going to work, you're going back to work, plop right in your lunch bag, and you can just reheat them in the microwave. So, any other questions before we leave you? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Any comments or questions?
Well, you can find it in your website, in your Facebook, and put the questions there.
Absolutely. Please forward this to anyone you might think would be interested. This video will be available on My Nutrition Habit all the time, as was last week's. And next week, we'll be having, as I promised last week, the Korean street toast that we'll do. So, thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Friday, June 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a great week.